You are listening to Theoretical Insights of D&D.
Lord, give me a fireball!
Screw how hot your skin is, my bars are hotter. Let me tell you what this is. Let me tell you, you listeners, if you don't know what the zombie has packing in his decaying flesh. You shut up, cancer bones. You're gonna be a zombie if that cancer doesn't get cured.
Hey guys, I'm Rob.
And I'm Eric.
Welcome back to Theoretical Insights of D&D. And today we cover our top 16 creatures for CR7. And once again, without a surprise, we come with you with a new and slightly improved celebrity list.
Is it ever really improved?
No, it actually gets worse for every week that we do this. But you know.
Well, 4 down gets worse.
Yeah, four down gets progressively worse because
5 to 7 is usually
let's be
about
honest.
the same.
If you're finding yourself in 1 through 4 on our list, then you can rest assured that you're kind of not very popular right now. So at number 1, we have Jada Pinkett Smith, because I'm sick and tired of every time I scroll Facebook, something else has been said about the whole drama of her and Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Todd Howard. I think there's enough said.
Yeah. Yeah, if you game, then yeah, that's enough said.
As many restaurants have been shut down for the number of bugs that they've got, they really need to do something about Starfield. Number 3, Bam Margera. Nothing personal, but Bam, get cleaned up.
Right.
We hope the best for you. Realistically, we do. But right now, just get some help.
Yeah, him and the crew have brought lots of laughter.
Yeah. And we truly do hope the best for you. Number 4, the Spanish Inquisition, because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Surprised they took CR7 to get that one in here.
Well, I mean, nobody expected it.
That is true.
Number 5, Dan Fogler. And for those of you that don't know who he is the guy that was in Balls of Fury and the baker from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
He's always in there. You just don't know who he is.
An absolutely fantastic filler character.
Oh, he
portrayal.
is fantastic character.
Number 6, John Cusack, actor of 2012, and there was a movie came out in the early 2000s. I can't remember. It was a guy with a bunch of split personalities, but it was a really good movie. And I think it was Room 1308 or 1318, something like that. He starred in that as well. He's had some very good and interesting roles.
Very good roles.
Number 7, James Bond himself, Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh Lord, what was his name in Glass Onion? Something Benoit.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, it's Knives Out and Glass Onion are great movies.
Okay.
Number 8, another 007, possibly my favorite, Pierce Bronson.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic actor. From bringing to life 007 to Mrs. Doubtfire, being the antagonist for that movie. Number 9, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine himself, making an appearance, healing himself up as much as he can to where he can make it onto the list. And number 10.
Deadpool 3 for that matter.
Yeah, Deadpool 3. Number 10. One who has decided to retire from the acting career, and he has had
amazing career.
Right at 50 to 60 years
been
of
here a long
acting.
time.
Sir Michael Caine.
Yep.
He is absolutely fantastic in everything he's been in, from
One of my
Secondhand
favorite
Lines.
movies he's been in was Secondhand Lines.
Well, there was Secondhand Lines, The Italian Job, the original not the remake with Mark Wahlberg. It's still good, but it's not the original. And then there's also The Last Witch Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of absolutely great movies with Michael Caine. And we wish you the best in your retirement, sir. I hope you stay in good health and continue to live your life as long as possible.
Yeah, he's deserved to enjoy the rest of his life.
Moving on, we have first up the Black Abishai. Now, we covered the White Abishai.
Which was one of my favorite of last.
That was on the CR6
last
list.
one,
yeah. It was really cool. And it looked awesome. And this one doesn't hold the cake.
To be
in that
fair,
matter.
the white Abishai was just a throw-in, and it turned out to be one of the best.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that Black Abishai will at least live up to some of the thunder that the white brought.
Yeah.
So, it is a medium fiend and lawful evil, 15 AC and 58 hit points, or you can do 98 plus 18 for the maximum, 30 feet of movement with a 40-foot flying speed. It's got a +6 to dexterity and wisdom saving throws, also in perception and stealth. So he's not exactly going to be easy to sneak by, and he can sneak by you just as good as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Resistant to cold, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that aren't silvered. Immune to acid, fire, and poison, and immune to the poison condition. 120 feet of dark vision and a passive perception of 16. So that just reiterates he's not going to be the easiest to sneak by. If you see him, kind of coming around the corner, crouched down, it's not going to be the easiest to get by him. Also understands Draconic Infernal with a telepathy of 120 feet. Now, this guy has Devil's Sight, so magical darkness doesn't impede on the Abishai's dark vision. So, that warlock that may have an innate ability of darkness, no good.
Yep.
Does no good. The Abishai's weapons attacks are considered magical, and with Shadow Stealth, while in dim light or darkness, the Abishai can take the hide action as a bonus action.
Yeah, this is your assassin.
Yeah, this is your rogue Abishai, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got multi-attack where it makes 3 attacks. 2 with its scimitar and 1 with its bite. So that scimitar is a +6 to hit with a 5-foot reach, dealing 1d6 plus 3 slashing damage. The bite is the same plus to hit, same reach, 1d10 plus 3 piercing damage plus 2d8 acid damage. It also has Creeping Darkness with a recharge of 6, much like most of the Dragon Breath weapons.
Yeah.
The Abishai casts darkness at a point within 120 feet of it, requiring no components. Wisdom is its spell casting modifier for the spell. While the spell persists, the Abishai can move the area of darkness up to 60 feet as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Imagine if you will.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes. I am imagining things.
You're just some guard sitting on a tower, and you see this huge cloud of darkness just creeping across the ground.
Meandering through the yard.
What is that? We can't see nothing in it. And then your king dies.
Yeah, and then the Black Abishai is just like, yes. You just hear somebody go, yes.
This is your dragonborn assassin.
Yeah, I mean, that's technically what he kind of is. It is like a Dragonborn, but more of a draconic. Like, I know the Dragonborn are pretty draconic to begin with, but this is like a next level.
Yeah,
almost like if
it's a devil dragonborn is what it is.
It'd be like a Dragonborn with lycanthropy with the
Kinda.
dragon lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's like
It's more of a dragon.
more of a dragon than a
regular
humanoid,
dragon,
you know? And it's actually really cool.
yeah, they are really cool.
This guy realistically, I think, would be a Pierce Bronson.
Yeah,
We can't put him too high because there's some stuff on this list that I'm excited to cover.
yeah.
But Pierce Bronson, a number 8.
Now, ranking, yes, Pierce Bronson, but I had an image pop in my head of him wearing Wolverine's classic X-Men suit.
Put him in James Bond's classic tuxedo.
Oh, God.
That darkness starts moving in. The darkness starts moving across the courtyard.
He doesn't need gadgets. He has darkness.
Yeah. And he doesn't even have to have night vision goggles. He can already see.
Yeah, you can already see everything.
I think number 8.
Yeah.
An 8 would be a good place to start. Especially with it being the very first creature that we're covering so far.
Yeah.
But now we move on to the Blood Witch. Now, this is a little bit different than what we usually cover on the list. We try to stick to mainly monstrosities or beasts, but this was too cool to pass up.
Yeah, this is more of a class than it is a creature.
Yeah, in a way, for a DM. So it's a medium humanoid of any race, and it is chaotic evil. Surprise, surprise, it's the Blood Witch.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to be offering you cookies and candy on Halloween. She's going to be draining you. You remember, what is it, Scarlet from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the sanguine powers.
Yeah. So she's got an armor class of 12 with a 15 with mage armor, 78 health, or you can do the 12d8 plus 24 for max health, with a 30-foot movement speed. Has a +2 to wisdom saving throws, but a +7 to charisma. +4 to arcana, 7 to intimidation, +2 to perception, and +5 to stealth, and she is resistant to psychic damage. Has dark vision of 120 feet with a passive perception of 12, so you could probably get by her somewhat easily.
Yeah.
But then the artificer with his heavy armor and halberd comes up and just clang to clang to clang to clang.
You're never going to let me down on that, are you?
No.
Of course.
The clap of his shin guards alerted the Blood Witch. Speaks Abyssal plus one other language, usually common, but you can make it anything that you want. Blood Witch Dance. The witch can use a bonus action to control the movement of one creature cursed by its hex spell that it can see within 30 feet of it. The creature must succeed on a DC 15 charisma saving throw or use its reaction to move up to 30 feet in the direction of the witch's choice. That is a charisma save, and there's not that many classes that are proficient in that.
No.
And usually, if you're not playing a bard, warlock, or
Paladin.
paladin, that's kind of usually the dumb stat.
Yeah.
Like, my cleric does not have good charisma. Fighter doesn't. Barbarians usually don't, unless you're wanting to go for intimidation.
See, my artificer actually has, I think, a +2 in charisma, but...
No, I mean, even still, this is a 15.
Yeah. And his dexterity is dumb.
And it does not say that you can't have them walk off a cliff.
Yeah.
If they are 25 foot from a cliff's edge, you can say,
Go and walk off the cliff, little sweetheart.
Well,
and
wouldn't
they
that
plummet
be...
to their death.
Wouldn't that be part of harming themselves? You just
This
say
is
walk
not
this
a
way.
charm.
Oh,
You
this is just straight
control
up-
their
oh, yeah.
body and their movement.
This is
You can walk somebody off of a cliff with this to an
this is
instant
just
death.
Control movement. Okay.
Yes. You can send somebody over a cliff, off the edge of a tower, into a fiery furnace, anything. It
Ooh.
does not say that they cannot be led to their own demise.
Yeah. That takes her up a notch.
That takes her up a whole lot. She's also got Devil's Sight, so she can see through darkness, magical or non-magical. And she's got innate spellcasting. Surprise, surprise. She's a Blood Witch. It's a DC of 15 for the save, +7 to hit with spell attacks. At will, she has Alter Self, Detect Magic, Eldritch Blast at 11th level, so that's 3 beams. False Life, Levitate on herself only, and Mage Armor on herself only. And she can cast these 3 times a day each.
Mm-hmm.
Hellish Rebuke, Hellish Rebuke Hex, Scorching Ray at 3rd level, and 1 time a day for Circle of Death, Enthrall, and Suggestion.
Ouch.
Yeah, you think. Eldritch Blast at 11th level is 3 beams of 1d10 force.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess and say that you could probably, if you were going to put her up and be like a pretty mini boss, you'd be like, yeah, I'll give her the Eldritch invocation of Agonizing Blast. Just adding that charisma modifier because it's only a 4. But
Only
then there's
a
the
4.
3rd level Scorching Ray, so that's 4 beams of 1d10 fire.
Yeah.
And then there's Circle of Death. Now, Circle of Death, for those of you that don't know exactly what it is, I am going to pull it up.
Here, I got it right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is a sphere of negative energy that ripples out in a 60-foot radius. For each creature that is in the area makes a Constitution save. Target takes 8d6 necrotic damage on a failed save and half on a successful.
She just gets all of your childhood memories there to tell you how badly you messed up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except it's necrotic instead of psychic. That wave of negative energy.
8d6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Also, it has multi-attack.
Mm-hmm.
One with its long sword and one with its short sword. So it's technically a dual-wielding Blood Witch. The long sword is +6 to hit with a 5-foot reach, 1d8 +3. Same with the short sword, except it's a 1d6 +3.
Is she a sanguine blade singer? Close.
I would figure she'd be closer to because it's a charisma based, creature, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
figure it'd be closer to like a Hexblade.
Okay, yeah.
Because she controls movement. She has Hex at will.
And the Eldritch Blast. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a... Okay, yeah, she's a...
She would be like a Hexblade. Or he. But I would say a Blood Warlock, you know.
Yeah.
Witches are usually female, warlocks are usually male, you know. Except for, you know, classes and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
going back into like mythology and stuff.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think this one's a Hugh Jackman. It's cool. It's got the health to keep up. It can cast mage armor on itself to give it a little bit higher AC. But even if you don't agree, it can't be any lower than Daniel Craig at number 7.
Oh, I'm going Hugh Jackman because there's really no downside to her.
No, there really isn't. Because even looking at her stats, the only stat that she has that is below 10 is wisdom. Everything else is 13 and higher. So you need a strength saving throw. It's doable. Same with dexterity and con. Intelligence is only a +1, but at least it's a +1. Now that charisma saving throw for any kind of psychic damage usually, +4.
The only...
Well, actually +7, sorry.
only-
And she's got proficiency in wisdom, so she's actually got a +2
Yeah.
to the save.
The only underwhelming thing she has is her multi-attack. It's just a basic longsword and a basic short sword.
Yeah.
If they would have added like a D6 necrotic to each one of those, it would have been a whole lot better.
I'll go ahead and tell you, if I was running this character in-game against a group of adventurers, she wouldn't get close enough to have to use her longsword.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be sitting back there launching Scorching Rays, Eldritch Blasts, and whenever they got stupid enough to get huddled together, Circle of Death.
Yeah.
She's,
She's definitely Hugh
this character is absolutely a 9.
Yeah, she's good.
Moving on to the blue slad, and you know what a slad is, sir?
Not particularly. From the images, it looks like a
It's a
big...
giant toad.
Yeah, it looks like a big rock toad with Wolverine claws.
It's actually an aberration.
Really now.
Yes.
Ooh.
AC of 15 and 123 health, or you can do the max of 13d10 plus 52. That'd be 182 maximum health.
Big old tank.
The 30-foot movement speed. Perception +1. Resistant to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and thunder. Has a dark vision of 60 feet with a passive perception of 11. He's not exactly the most aware, okay?
He's one that you're gonna stand guard.
Yeah. And he understands and speaks Slad, and he has telepathy of 60 feet. Has magic resistance, so he has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Also, he has regeneration like a troll.
Mm-hmm.
He regains 10 health at the start of each of his turns, as long as he has at least 1 hit point.
But it doesn't have the whole troll fire damage thing.
It does not.
It's automatic no matter
It's
what.
a troll on steroids, except
Yeah,
this is a giant
much, yeah.
like toad with teeth and X-23 hooked claws.
Yeah, he's got the X-23 hook claw, yeah.
The slad makes 3 attacks, 1 with its bite and 2 with its claws. The bite is +8 to hit in the 5-foot reach, 2d6 plus 5 piercing damage. His mouth is a great sword.
Yeah.
His claw, on the other hand, +8 to hit, 5-foot reach, 2d6 plus 5 slashing damage. If the target is a humanoid, you know, the entire party,
Yeah.
it must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be infected with a disease called Chaos Fag. While infected, the target can't regain hit points, and its hit point maximum is reduced by 3d6 every 24 hours. If the disease reduces the target's hit point maximum to 0, the target instantly transforms into a red slad, or if it has the ability to cast spells of 3rd level or higher, a green slad. Only a wish spell can reverse the transformation.
Okay, so the red slide is the CR5. Did we cover that one?
We did not, because it was not as cool as the blue.
That is true.
It wasn't as big and beefy.
And then the green slide is a CR8.
Yes. And that will probably be in next episodes.
Probably because I like this thing more and more the more we talk about it.
Well, think about this for a second. Let me read a little bit again. You must succeed on a 15 Constitution saving throw or be infected with a disease called Chaos Fag. While infected, the target can't regain hit points, and its hit point maximum is reduced 3d6 every 24 hours. If it's reduced to 0, it transforms into a red or green slad. Sir, remove curse doesn't do anything.
Yep. Only wish.
What about greater restoration? Does that remove diseases?
No, it's only a wish spell can take it away.
The transformation.
The transformation.
So, if I was to put this in the game, I would have to, like me being a loving DM that I am, I would put some kind of antidote.
Oh,
the
yeah,
game.
you'd have to do that.
Yeah. Because if it just came down to the wizard got smacked one time, failed his con save, and then 2 days later he turns into a green slad, and now the party's got to deal with the green slad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would figure that greater restoration could possibly get rid of this.
Possibly.
But I would say it had to be greater restoration. But what if you didn't have a cleric?
Oh.
This brings in a whole new, oh my lord, there's all kinds of stuff that can go wrong. And we have to get this thing defeated because it's going crazy on this village over here.
But there's something that can go right. It is chaotic neutral.
Maybe.
You could possibly recruit this thing as an ally.
That's true, because the variant form has a control gem.
Oh, yeah.
Implanted in the slad's brain is a magic control gem. The slad must obey whoever possesses the gem and is immune to being charmed while so controlled. Certain spells can be used to acquire the gem. If the slad fails its saving throw against imprisonment, the spell can transfer the gem to the spellcaster's open hand instead of imprisoning the slad. A wish spell, if cast in the slad's presence, can be worded to acquire the gem. A greater restoration spell cast on the slad destroys the gem without harming the slad. Someone who is proficient in wisdom, medicine, can remove the gem from an incapacitated slad. Each try requires 1 minute of uninterrupted work and a successful DC 20 medicine check. Each failed attempt deals 4d10 psychic damage to the slad.
Yeah.
So you could either free it and have an ally, or control it and have a war dog.
That's a terrifying war dog.
It is. The blue slad is a 7.
Yes.
It is 7.
I would go 7.5.
Yeah. Yeah. I could do 7.5 for the slad. It's cool as can possibly be.
It is very cool. And the possibility to have an ally as a blue slad makes it even better.
Oh yeah, the ability to be like, hey, we don't have if somebody was able to speak to it or whatever, we don't have the capability of freeing you right now, but we do have your control gem, and we will treat you like one of our own. And then 5 months down the road, they are able to free it, and it decides to stick around.
Yeah. And there's multiple ways to control it. You either forcefully take control of it or heal it, so to say.
Yeah.
And have a possible ally.
And it is an awesome creature.
It is.
Cinder Hulk. 16 AC, 84 health, or 8d10 plus 40 with a movement speed of 40. Has a plus 4 to dexterity, plus 8 to con, and plus 5 to wisdom. Plus 5 to perception. Immune to fire and poison. And is immune to exhaustion and poisoned. With a passive perception of 15, and it speaks giant and Ignan. Death Burst. We've seen this before. When the Cinder Hulk dies, it leaves behind a cloud of cinders and smoke that fills a 10-foot radius sphere centered on its space. The sphere is heavily obscured. Any creature that moves into the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must succeed on a DC 16 Constitution saving throw or take 3d6 fire damage. The cloud lasts for 1 minute or until it's dispersed by strong wind. Makes 2 slam attacks with its multi-attack, plus 8 to hit and the 5-foot reach, 2d10 plus 5 bludgeoning damage, plus 3d6 fire damage. It also has something called wave of cinders with a recharge of 5 to 6. The Cinder Hulk emits a wave of smoldering ash from its face, hands, or chest in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in that area must succeed on a DC 16 dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 7d8 fire damage and has the blinding condition until the end of its next turn. On a successful save, a creature takes half as much damage only.
So it's got the plus version of a fire breath.
Yeah. Short, sweet, quick, and straight to the point.
Oh yeah, there's nothing complicated about it, but it does.
It does have a good AC. It's got decent health. And it's got AoE 7d8
Yeah.
fire damage and a potential blind.
Yeah. And when you kill it, a possibility of killing you.
And it is a large elemental, so
Yeah.
your barbarian goes running up, and then he takes 2d10 plus 3d6 twice.
Yeah. Yeah, these Hulks are...
Oh, and that was what,
awesome.
plus 5? Yeah, 2d10 plus 5 twice, and then 3d6 twice. Of course, he could be immune or resistant to the fire damage as well with Totem of the Bear.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah, still. There's...
that's 4d10 plus 10 and 6d6 fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Hulks are... They're short, sweet, to the point, not too complicated, but can do a lot of things.
Well, they don't so much do a lot of things. It's just what they do. They
can
do
do a lot of damage.
with a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I think this is a very good place to use Dan Vogler at number 5. It's a great filler,
It is, yeah.
and it will do its job, whatever you ask it to do.
Yeah, it's another one of those that does its job very well. And it can be filled wherever.
Now we move on to the thing of my wife's nightmares. You know, the wife. That would be the deep spider, a huge beast. Now this is technically sword spider. This is the description it has. Sword spiders are a type of giant arachnid that stalk the forest and caverns of Faerun, walking on legs that resemble razor-sharp blades. 15 AC with 95 health, or you can do the 10d12 plus 30 for 150.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 8 to stealth. And its stealth is only at plus 2. Tremor sense of 60 feet and a passive perception of 11. Has spider climb, so it can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings without needing to make an ability check. Web sense. While in contact with a web, the deep spider knows the exact location of any other creature in contact with the same web. And web walker. No restriction by webbing.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-attack. It takes 2 four-leg attacks and 1 bite attack. This is that description of sword spider.
Yeah.
The bite is plus 8 to hit with a 5-foot reach, dealing 2d8 plus 5 piercing damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 14 Constitution saving throw or take 4d8 poison damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful. If the poison damage reduces the target to 0 hit points, the target is stable but poisoned for 1 hour. Even after regaining hit points, it is paralyzed while poisoned this way. The foreleg, plus 8 to hit, 5-foot reach, 4d6 plus 5 piercing damage.
It's
Oh,
gonna
slashing damage, sorry.
hurt. It's going to hurt.
And it makes 2 of those.
Yeah.
8d6 plus 10. And then the bite follows it at 2d8 plus 5 with another 4d8 poison damage, in which you, if you are low health and you're put to 0, you're stable, you're fine, but as long as you're poisoned, you're paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing's going to...
This is the spider of everyone's nightmares.
I don't know. I got a lot of spiders I'm scared of. Well, I'm scared of.
What was? Please remind me of the name of the spider from Lord of the Rings, because I had it and then it went.
Let me Google this.
A great use you are, Eric. You're supposed to be here to back me up, and then here you are having the both of us look like a pair of fools.
Actually, you're the one talking about it, so
Shelob.
Shelob, yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered it. Shelob. This is Shelob, except it doesn't have the stinger. Think about it for a second.
Yeah, pretty much.
The bite would be the stinger, and you notice how she was trying to stomp Frodo? It could be the piercing.
You know how much worse you just made this spider for me?
Oh, yeah.
Because the first time I saw that scene,
Oh, yeah.
because I was still in school.
The deep spider is serious.
Yes,
But it's awesome.
it is.
I would love to run this creature in a game, which is why I'm going to give it a John Cusack. It's not quite Double Craig. The damage is a Pierce Bronson.
Yeah.
With everything else that it can do, because it doesn't have an ability to where it can in web. If it had the ability to, like, in air quotes, cast web,
Yeah.
it'd be a Pierce Bronson. But because it doesn't have the ability to spray a web to get everybody kind of locked into one area, it is a John Cusack.
Because it's just a spider, but big and does a lot of damage.
Well, even the smaller spiders have the ability to in web.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, that is true.
if it had the ability to in web something,
It would be.
it would be a number 8. Right now, it's only a number 6.
Yeah, I could go with a John Cusack.
It's still cool.
And it does its job very well.
Next up is the Dragon Soul. Another humanoid.
Yeah, this is another one. It's more of a class, I would say.
Yeah. 16 AC from studded leather armor. 110 health. Or you can do the 17 D8 plus 34. This is technically a 17th level character.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 4 to wisdom saving throws with a plus 6 to deception and plus 7 to stealth. Resistant to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison. With a passive perception of 11. And it speaks common, draconic, and infernal. Now, Dragon Fanatic. The Dragon Soul has advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. While the Dragon Soul can see a dragon or a higher ranking cult of the dragon cultist friendly to it, the Dragon Soul ignores the effects of being charmed or frightened. Fanatic advantage. Once per turn, if the Dragon Soul makes a weapon attack with advantage on the attack roll and hits, the target takes an extra 3d6 damage. Limited flight. The Dragon Soul can use a bonus action to gain a flying speed of 30 feet until the end of its turn. It has pack tactics.
Yeah. But if you think about what it is, it's basically a dragon cultist thrall.
Yeah, but now it's making those attacks with advantage, dealing 3d6 extra damage every
Yeah.
turn.
So, I mean, you're going to have a bunch of these running together.
And it attacks twice with a short
Yeah.
sword. Plus 5 to hit, 5 foot reach, 1d6 plus 3, plus 3d6 damage of the type to which the Dragon Soul has resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And it has resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison.
Oh, what about its next attack?
Oh yeah, Orb of Dragon's Breath 3 times a day. It's a ranged spell, plus 7 to hit with a range of 90 feet. Targets one creature. 6d8 of the damage type to which the Dragon Soul has damage resistance.
Yeah. It's a
And
multicolored.
let me remind you of what they're resistant to one more time. Acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison.
Well, it's one of the following. It's one of those. It's not all of them.
You might be looking at a different one than I am.
Oh, yours doesn't say that?
No, it is not.
Ah, interesting.
But, I mean, if you're going to go into a Cult of the Dragon, you can have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these.
Yeah.
You can just put out 5. Or 6.
Yeah, because these are going to be mobs of these.
Yeah.
This is your basic foot soldier of a dragon cult.
Oh, yeah. With the abilities that it has, I think that's another John Cusack because it's kind of lacking everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pawn of the dragon cult. It's going to do its job. It's going to do it well. I would say a 5.5.
I could go for that. It could improve a little bit, but the health is where it really sets itself apart.
Yeah, it does have a good health.
It's got a pretty good AC as well.
Yeah.
Now, the Flux Charger, on the other hand, has a 16 AC and 60 health, or you can do the maximum of 8d10 plus 16, with a flying speed of 60 feet. It's resistant to thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks, immune to lightning and poison, Immune to exhaustion, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, restrained, and unconscious.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah. Anything that matters, anyway.
Yeah.
Dark vision of 60 feet with a passive perception of 10, and it speaks Draconic. Amplify lightning. Whenever a spell that deals lightning damage includes one or more flux charges in its area, the spell deals an extra 2d8 lightning damage. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Multi-attack. The flux charger. Okay. The flux charger. The flux capacitor. The flux charger makes 2 slam attacks or uses his arc lightning twice.
Mm-hmm.
The slam attack is a +7 to hit, 10-foot reach, 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage, plus 3d6 fire damage. Wait a minute. Fire? Yeah, this guy is lightning and fire.
Well, if you think about it, lightning heats up things.
Oh, well, yeah. That's how a lot of the wildfire started, is lightning strikes.
Yeah. And if you concentrate lightning in a small area, like in a gauntlet, it's going to heat up.
Yeah. Arc lightning. Ranged spell attack of +7 to hit, 30-foot range. 3d10 lightning damage. And lightning jumps from the target to one creature of the flux charger's choice that it can see within 30 feet of the target. The second creature must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or take 3d8 lightning damage. Hit or miss, the flux charger takes 1d10 force damage after resolving the attack. It can do that twice.
Yeah.
Twice. Another one that's short, quick, simple, and to the point.
But the flux charger is taking damage when it does that.
Yes. Here's the question, though. The Flux Charger and the Cinder Hulk are pretty much the same thing, two opposite sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
This is more spell-based. The Cinder Hulk is more up front in your face. I'm going to do my 30-foot cone.
Yeah.
The Cinder Hulk we put where? We put it at Pierce Bronson?
I think so.
Number 8. I don't think it's as cool as the Cinder Hulk.
No,
I think it's a little bit more useful.
The only downside to me is that it's killing itself every time it does the
Yeah.
button.
And for that would be a Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Instead of a Pierce Bronson, it would be a Daniel Craig.
Now, you could run a game and have it hook up to a charger like a Tesla or something.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It starts arcing lightning, and it gets tired and goes back and plugs in. Regain some health.
Moving on, we have a Haint. I think I'm saying that right.
I think it's a
Haint. It's a 12 armor class. It's a medium undead. 75 health, 10d8 plus 30 for max. 30-foot movement, 30-foot flying, and it can hover. Has a deception of +6 and a stealth of +8. Resistant to acid, fire, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Immune to cold, necrotic, and poison. Immune to charmed, exhaustion, frightened, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, and restrained.
Yes.
Because it's a ghosty goo.
It's one of those things. What do you want to be immune to? Yes.
With the way it's kind of floating around, it makes me think of something the Ghostbusters would have had to deal with at the end of a movie.
Well, a Haint is usually like a southern North America ghost.
Dark vision of 60 feet, passive perception of 11, and it speaks any languages that it knew in life. Incorporeal movement. The Haint can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. It takes 1d10 force damage if it ends its turn inside an object. Unusual nature. Surprise, it's dead. Well, it's undead. It doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep.
Of course.
I mean, that's kind of given.
Yeah.
It takes 2 sorrowful touch attacks. +6 to hit. 5-foot reach. 4d8 plus 3 psychic damage.
Yep.
And it also has changed shape. The Haint magically assumes the appearance of the humanoid it was in life while retaining its game statistics. The assumed appearance ends if the Haint is reduced to 0 hit points or uses an action to end it. That's what makes this thing cool.
Well, that and
It can walk around and you have no idea that it's a Haint.
Yeah. This would be something for your DM to bring dead parents back.
Yeah.
Oh, son, we're okay. Or, like, the town was razed to the ground.
Up until the point that it could assume the form that it was in life and trick everybody around it thinking it's still alive, it was a Spanish... No. It was a Bam Margera. I'll tell you why. It's a number 4. It's a Spanish Inquisition, because if it goes into its change appearance, nobody expects it.
Yeah, because, like...
Nobody expects the Spanish haint.
Your party's off, and their hometown is razed to the ground.
Yeah.
They don't know their parents died. So they find
Must be a group of
refugees,
rogues.
and one of their parents is in there. And the next thing you know, they're dead.
Oof.
Yeah.
I think it's a number 4, not because it's not cool,
But
because it is cool, because nobody expects
nobody
it.
expects the Spanish. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Moving on to the lion drake. This is one of the coolest looking creatures we've run across
it
so
is
far.
definitely. I love these things.
Armor class of 16 with 119 health, or you can do the maximum of 4d10 plus 42 with a movement speed of 40 and a flying speed of 60. Put your gnome wizard on the back of this thing.
Back
Launching
with the
cloud
gun,
kill, crop dusting the people beneath. While the Eldritch Knight sits on his nightmare just looking like a disappointed Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Perception of +7 with a dark vision of 60 feet and a passive perception of 17. It's not going to be easy to get by this guy.
No.
And it understands and speaks Draconic.
Well, I mean, it's a lion dragon.
Yeah. The lion drake makes 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks. Now the bite is +7 to hit, 5-foot reach, which is surprising with that big old long neck that it's got.
Yeah.
2d10 plus 4 piercing damage. If the target is a medium or smaller creature, it must succeed on a DC 15 saving throw, strength, or be knocked prone. And you're like,
Oh, that's no big deal.
well, then if you're knocked prone, you've got 2 claw attacks coming at you at full advantage. +7 to hit with a 5-foot reach, 2d6 plus 4 slashing damage. It's not doing a whole lot of damage, realistically, unless you're doing single target attacks and they've been knocked prone, and then the next 2 claw attacks are coming at advantage for a possible 4d6 plus 8.
Yeah.
But blood chilling roar with a recharge of 4 to 6 on that d6. The lion drake lets out a terrifying roar audible out to 300 feet. Any creature within 30 feet of the lion drake that can hear its roar must succeed on a DC 15 wisdom saving throw or be frightened of the lion drake for 1 minute. A creature that fails to save by 5 or more is also paralyzed for the same duration. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. If a target saving throw is successful for the effect, or the effect ends for it, the target is immune to the lion drake's blood-chilling roar for the next 24 hours. If you fail, advantage on the bite to go prone. And I know there's technically no such thing as a double advantage, but then there's advantage on the 2 claws as well. And you're paralyzed, so they're automatically critical hits.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's automatic crits.
This thing is simple. I love the simple creatures. It looks awesome. Michael Caine. I know it sounds stupid, but just for the simplistic, the simplicity of it, for it to do what it can do,
Yeah.
Michael Caine.
I will
say Hugh Jackman, because if that wisdom saving throw was a 16 instead of a 14, it would be Michael Caine.
I will give you that on paper.
Yeah.
Paper stats. But in a game, this would be something you just fill in while they're traveling somewhere.
Yeah.
On paper, it's a Hugh Jackman. In game, it's a Dan Fogler.
No, even in a random encounter in the middle of the plains, you'll remember the lion drake.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You'll remember the lion drake's name. Could you remember his name last night when we were coming up with a celebrity list?
No, but I could see his face and everything I've watched him in.
Exactly. He wouldn't be any lower than a Daniel Craig. Hands down, no holds barred.
I'll take it up to a John Cusack.
Okay. Next up, we have one of the more freaky creatures.
Yeah,
I think this really became popular over the Critical Role Campaign 2 episode where Matt freaked everybody out.
Oh, God, yes.
Where he said it was just in there going... And then he came running at him. This is the Lost. Now, this is that freaky thing that looks undead. It's a medium monstrosity with 4 giant, like, piercing spikes for arms.
Yeah, it's spear arms.
15 AC with 78 health. 12d8 plus 24 for the max. Plus 6 to athletics. Has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing while in dim light or darkness. Mm-hmm. Dark vision of 60 feet. Passive perception of 8. Multi-attack. The Lost makes 2 arm spike attacks. Arm spike. Plus 6 to hit, 5 foot reach. 2d10 plus 3 piercing damage. Embrace. Plus 6 to hit, 5 foot reach. 4d10 plus 3 piercing damage, and the target is grappled with an escape DC of 14 if it is a medium or smaller creature. Until the grapple ends, the target is frightened and takes 6d8 psychic damage at the end of each of its turns. The Lost can only embrace 1 creature at a time. As a reaction, tightening embrace. If the Lost takes damage while it has a creature grappled, that creature takes 4d8 psychic damage.
Yeah, the campaign we're in, since you missed last night.
I was not there last night.
We fought one of these. And luckily, with my artificer being a battlesmith, I had my steel defender. It hit the steel defender instead of me.
Ooh.
Yeah, it killed my steel defender in 1 turn. Imagine if that had hit me.
Last night would have been a real good night for Phil Von T to be there.
Oh, it would have been. This thing is scary.
Because I do damage.
I mean, I did a casual 30 damage to it in 1 turn.
Nice.
And that was even with his resistances.
Gosh.
This thing is scary.
It's scary, but it's scarier than it is cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a John Cusack. Because he starred in a lot of those psycho thriller movies.
Definitely, yeah. I could see that.
Next up, everybody's favorite and a possible lawsuit from Wizards of the Coast just for saying it on the show. Mind Flayer. Sue us. We have no money.
I've got $20.
I don't even have that. The Mind Flayer, what everybody probably thinks of nowadays when they think Dungeons and Dragons because of Stranger Things, because Season 2 was so much more popular than Season 1.
Yeah, that is true.
So, 15 AC from Breastplate, 71 health. Oh, and a whole lot of people are probably thinking about it because of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Intelligence plus 7, Wisdom and Charisma plus 6. Plus 7 to Arcana, plus 6 to... Deception, Insight, Perception, and Persuasion with a plus 4 to Stealth.
Yep.
Dark Vision of 120 feet with a passive perception of 16. Speaks Deep Speech, Undercommon, and with telepathy of 120 feet. And these are lawful evil.
Mm-hmm.
Has magic resistance, so it has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Has innate psionics. The Mind Flayer's innate spellcasting ability is Intelligence. DC of 15, and it innately casts the following spells requiring no components. Detect Thoughts, Levitate, Dominate Monster once per day, and Plane Shift on itself once per day. Tentacles, plus 7 to hit, 2d10 plus 4, psychic damage. If the target is medium or smaller, it is grappled, and must succeed on a DC 15 intelligence saving throw or be stunned until the grapple ends. I'm going to skip the next one to make a point. Mm-hmm. Mind Blast with a recharge of 5 to 6. The Mind Flayer magically emits psychic energy in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in that area must succeed on a DC 15 intelligence saving throw or take 4d8 plus 4 psychic damage and be stunned for 1 minute. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Extract. brain.
Yeah, yeah.
+7 to hit with a 5-foot reach. One incapacitated humanoid grappled by the Mind Flayer is the target. The target takes 10d10 piercing damage. If this damage reduces the target to 0 hit points, the Mind Flayer kills the target by extracting and devouring its brain.
And you have scarred me for life with this thing.
In my campaign, for those of you that may have listened to the first 3 episodes of the Dreadful Six before it became too much for us to be able to produce, Kriv, one of the characters that Jeremiah was voicing and played by Owen, in the town of Dualoke, there was a Mind Flayer that had taken over the mayor's office.
Yeah.
And had tricked the party into dealing with some of the thieves. So they were arrested. The thieves were. And the group started hearing screams coming from underneath the town hall. So they went to investigate and saw the mayor transforming into the Mind Flayer and decided that they needed to do something about it. Unfortunately, Kriv did not survive that encounter. So I put on some sad Scottish music and did a whole funeral service while everybody at the table, specifically Jeremiah, cried their eyes out.
Yeah, that was his apprentice.
And then the next week, Jeremiah wrecked his car. And he said it's because Kriv died.
And then recently, in our campaign we're playing online, I have the ability to turn into an illithid, and I did the tentacles and then the extract brain, and I had to pause my mic because I was about to cry because it brought back the memories. Thank you, Rob.
I'm glad I can give you some D&D trauma. It means it was memorable.
Better than real life trauma, I guess.
Oh, yeah, because none of this is real. The Mind Flayer is an absolute hands-down Michael Caine.
Of course. Oh, I could see Michael Caine playing one of these.
I don't know, dude. A Mind Flayer pops up. I don't know about you, but I think that maybe we might be able to go over here.
That's a Mind Flayer.
It's a Mind Flayer. Oh, man. Why did he retire before he voiced a Mind Flayer? That would have been so funny. I'm Mind Flayer Michael Caine.
Somebody doing it, like, if somebody did like a D&D YouTube series, see if you can get Michael Caine to do a Mind Flayer. Just for like a Spanish Inquisition. Just show up in the middle of one episode.
Moving on to the Oni. Now, I put this on the list for one reason. And I'll talk about that once I cover it. 16 AC with 110 health. 13d10 plus 39 for 169 max. Plus 3 to dexterity, 6 to con, 4 to wisdom, and plus 5 on the saving throws to charisma. Plus 5 to arcana, plus 8 to deception, and plus 4 to perception. Dark vision of 60 feet with a passive perception of 14. Understands and speaks common and giant. The Oni's weapon attacks are magical. Has regeneration, so it regains 10 hit points at the start of each of its turns.
And it's another one of those super regenerations.
Innate spellcasting with a DC save of 13. At will, darkness and invisibility. And 1 time per day each. Charm person, cone of cold, gaseous form, and sleep. Multi-attack. The Oni makes 2 attacks, either with its claws or its glaive. The claw, in Oni form only. Plus 7 to hit with a 5-foot reach, 1d8 plus 4 slashing damage. The glaive, on the other hand, is a 10-foot reach, 2d10 plus 4 slashing damage, or 1d10 plus 4 slashing damage in small or medium form. And you say, why small or medium? Because the Oni magically polymorphs into a small or medium humanoid, into a large giant, or back to its true form. Other than its size, its statistics are the same in each form. The only equipment that is transformed is its glaive, which shrinks so that it can be wielded in humanoid form. If the Oni dies, it reverts to its true form, and its glaive reverts to its normal size. Now, here's the reason I put it on the list, and why I think it is seriously uncool. I give you a little bit of time to soak this in. An Oni and a Green Hag.
Mm-hmm.
At 6th level,
Mm-hmm.
you guys wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
The Oni I've experienced running it, it is useless. Truly, it is useless. It sounds awesome on paper.
Yeah.
It is completely useless. And for that reason, for me personally, it is a Jada Pinkett Smith at number 1. And it's possibly the first number 1 that I've ever given anything.
I will go with your terrible. But with it being in our current online campaign, as an ally, I'd have to give it at least a Bam Margera.
I don't care about no Oni. I have a Griffin, dude.
Can it fight in small corridors?
Yeah.
As useful as a Griffin in the open air?
Yeah.
With it being, a Griffin is what?
Large.
It's a horse, basically.
Yeah.
So you're going to run this talon, beak, and clawed thing through a 10-foot corridor
Absolutely.
with people in front of you. It's
Yes.
going to be hard to get through. Unless
That's why
you're
you just
in the
knock
front.
everybody up. That's why you just knock everybody down and get out of the way.
That's why I need to make some
I
plate
don't have
armor
to
for
out.
Griffin.
I don't have to outrun the aboleth. I just have to outrun you. Okay.
So what you're saying is I need to go ahead and make your Griffin the plate armor, and you'll be the tank.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already up there with nearly the most health.
Yeah, but with no armor.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 15 AC. It's not horrible. But yeah, the Oni is a number 1. It is the lowest ranking on this list
It's not the
because it
greatest.
should be ashamed of itself. It is hopelessly useless for what it says on paper compared to what it actually does in game.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving on to the Tree Blight, because now I'm getting a little sad at how bad the Oni really is. 15 natural armor for the AC, 149 health, or 13d12 plus 65. Immune to blinded and deafened, with a blind side of 60 foot, and it's blind beyond that radius. Passive perception of 10. Understands common and druidic, but doesn't speak. While the blight remains motionless, it is indistinguishable from a dead tree. And the blight deals double damage to objects and structures. Here's where it gets a little interesting. The blight makes 4 attacks, 2 with its branches and 2 with its grasping roots. If it has a target grappled, the blight can also make a bite attack against the target as a bonus action.
Yeah.
The bite is a +9 to hit with a 5-foot reach, 3d8 plus 6 piercing damage. The branch, +9 to hit, 15-foot reach, 3d6 plus 6 bludgeoning damage. Makes 2 of those. And then grasping root, +9 to hit, 15-foot range. 1 creature not grappled by the blight. The target is grappled with an escape DC of 15. Until the grapple ends, the target takes 1d6 plus 6 bludgeoning damage at the start of each of its turns. The root has an AC of 15 and can be severed by dealing 6 slashing damage or more to it at once. Cutting the root doesn't hurt the blight, but ends the grapple.
Ooh.
That just went...
Yeah, that's
shot it up the list.
just that little bit of damage mitigation.
That's a Daniel Craig.
Definitely.
That is a Daniel Craig.
This is an evil Trent.
Oh, it's not even a trend. It's a tree. It is a tree.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a sentient tree, I guess.
It's the spooky version of a awakened tree.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it a Daniel Craig, yeah.
Now, imagine if it had been tree blights instead of awakened trees in Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
It would have been something, that's for sure. My phone's playing another Pinterest ad. Give me a second. Moving on to the Venom Troll. A lot scarier than you think.
Yeah.
It's 15 natural armor class, 94 health, or you can do the max of 90, 10 plus 45 for 135. Perception of +2, immune to poisoned, immune to being poisoned. Dark vision of 60 feet, passive perception of 12, speaks giant. Keen smell. The troll has advantage on perception checks that rely on smell. Poison splash. When the troll takes damage of any type but psychic, each creature within 5 feet of the troll takes 2d8 poison damage. Regeneration. The troll regains 10 hit points at the start of each of its turns. If the troll takes acid or fire damage, the trait doesn't function at the start of the troll's next turn, and the troll only dies if it starts its turn with 0 hit points and doesn't regenerate.
That's that classic regeneration.
The troll makes 3 attacks, 1 with its bite and 2 with its claws. The bite is +7 to hit, 5 foot reach, 1d6 plus 4 piercing damage, plus 1d8 poison damage, and the creature is poisoned until the start of the troll's next turn. There is no save, there is no chance. You get bit, you are poisoned.
Yeah. The only save is immunity to poison.
Yeah. The claws are +7 to hit, 5 foot reach, 2d6 plus 4 slashing damage, plus 1d8 poison damage. Not too bad. Venom spray on a recharge of 6. The troll slices itself with a claw, releasing a spray of poison in a 15-foot cube. The troll takes 2d6 slashing damage, and this damage can't be reduced in any way. Each creature in the area must make a DC 16 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 4d8 poison damage and is poisoned for 1 minute. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't poisoned. A poisoned creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on success. Yeah. It's a lot more dangerous than you think it is.
Oh, yeah. Because you are poisoned.
Yeah.
There's no, you might be poisoned. You are
poisoned. It bites
poisoned.
you are poisoned, which causes everything to be at pretty much disadvantage.
Well, it's not just the bite, it's the venom spray. You are poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's not overly cool, but it is no lower than a number 5 at Dan Vogler.
Yeah, because you put it, it's going to do its job very well.
Next up, we have the Woe Strider. This thing is freaky. It's a large aberration with a 17 natural armor class, 110 health, or you can do the maximum of 13d10 plus 39 for 169. Movement speed of 40 foot with a climbing speed of 40 foot, plus 5 to intimidation, plus 5 to perception. Immune to the frightened condition. Dark vision of 120 feet, passive perception of 15, and a telepathy of 120 feet. Anti-magic cone.
Yeah.
The Woe Strider's open mouth creates an area of anti-magic, as in the anti-magic field spell, in a 60-foot cone. At the start of each of its turns, the Woe Strider decides which way the cone faces and whether its mouth is open or closed. The Woe Strider makes 2 claw attacks and 1 bite attack. If both claws hit the same creature, the target is grappled with an escape of 14 DC. The claw is +7 to hit, 10-foot reach, 1d6 plus 4, plus 1d6 psychic damage. The bite, +7 to hit, 5-foot reach, on one creature that's grappled, incapacitated, or restrained. 2d8 plus 4, piercing damage, plus 3d10 psychic damage. In addition, each magic item the creature is carrying that isn't an artifact has its magical properties suppressed for 1 minute.
Yep.
Ring of Warmth, no good.
No more. All your
9
+1
lives stealing rapier,
oh,
no
yeah.
good. Cloak of Protection, gone. +1 weapon, forget it.
Mm-hmm. Go back to the anti-magic cone for a second. It has the same properties as an anti-magic field.
Yeah.
Anti-magic field is a 10-foot radius.
Yeah,
This is a 60-foot cone.
Which means healing word, nada.
Nothing.
Cure wounds, nothing. Fireball, good luck. Cone of cold, forget about it. No magic.
Nothing.
You want a fighter or a barbarian in your party
Oh, definitely.
when you run into one of these, or a rogue
Ranger
or something
would work.
like that. Yeah. One of the martial classes that can get up there and get close to do damage. But you want them to be somewhat tanky because of the bite.
I wonder if that would affect my Steel Defender.
It's not technically a magical creature.
It's a construct.
It's a construct.
That is true.
The Ghost Rider is a Hugh Jackman.
Oh, definitely.
It is a Hugh Jackman. There are too many uses that you can get out of this thing.
And it's too deadly. Like, anti-magic field. It ain't nothing. No, it's everything.
It does more than enough damage to prove itself.
Not even with the damage, with half the damage, it's still deadly.
Oh, yeah. Rounding out the list finally, after an hour and 6 minutes. The young topaz dragon. Now, there were a few other dragons on the list that were young, but this was the coolest of the four in our minds.
Yeah.
It is a large gem dragon. 17 natural AC, 127 health, or you can do the maximum of 17 D10 plus 34 for 204. Movement speed of 40, flying speed of 80, and a swim speed of 40. Plus 4 to dexterity saving throws, plus 5 to con, plus 5 to wisdom, and plus 6 to charisma. Plus 9 to intimidation, plus 4 to stealth, and plus 8 to perception. Resistant to cold and necrotic.
Mm-hmm.
Blind sight of 30 feet, dark vision of 120, with a passive perception of 18.
Yeah, it's going to see you.
Understands and speaks common, draconic, and telepathy of 120 feet. It is amphibious, so it can use both claws simultaneously. I was waiting for you to be like, wait a minute. It can breathe in both air and water. Has innate spellcasting of psionics. The dragon casts one of the following spells requiring no components, using an intelligence as a spellcasting ability modifier of a DC 14 saving throw. Bane and create or destroy water. The dragon makes 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks. The bite is plus 6 to hit with a 10-foot reach. 2d10 plus 3 piercing damage plus 1d6 necrotic damage. I think you see where it's going. The claw is plus 6 to hit, 5-foot reach, 1d6 plus 3 slashing damage. Desiccating breath, recharge of 5 to 6. The dragon exhales yellowish necrotic energy in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 8d6 necrotic damage and is weakened until the end of its next turn. A weakened creature has disadvantage on strength-based ability checks and strength saving throws, and the creature's weapon attacks that rely on strength deal half damage. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't weakened.
Yep.
You know what it makes me think of? Especially when we get to the full-grown version of it? Valhazak from Monster Hunter World.
Oh, yeah, that is right, ain't it?
Yes. This guy breathes his SpongeBob onion breath on you, and you do half damage if you fell.
Yeah.
If you're a barbarian fighter or paladin using a longsword or something based on strength.
Yeah.
While you take 8d6 necrotic damage. Once again, it's a dragon. It's a Michael Caine.
Yeah. Let me tell you the other dragons that we passed up for this one, because they're
There's a young black,
a young
copper,
copper, and a lunar.
Lunar. Yeah, lunar
Which
is just cold
can
damage.
dig and it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold
and that's
damage.
it. This is necrotic and it can weaken. It's a Michael.
It is by far the coolest on the list. Well, not even so much by far, because there's also the Mind Flayer and the Blue Slad.
Yeah, I was about to say the Blue Slad's up there.
The Blue Slad's up there. I think we gave it a Hugh Jackman, didn't we?
Yeah. But yeah, this is Michael Caine.
I hope you enjoyed this while we kind of lose our mind.
I mean, that's natural.
Next week will be the release of the New World Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
Where we go a little deeper into the lore of the world and what caused it to be in this state to begin with.
Yeah, we actually had to think and work. And
yeah. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this episode, and I hope you enjoy the new world. Keep your head held high during the meantime, because there's a lot of crazy things happening in the world. We hope you all have the best. We wish you all the best. We wish you safety, and we wish you well-being. In the meantime, if you need an escape, we're here to make you laugh, think we're idiots, whatever.
I mean, we are I think we're technically idiots, but
Oh, we are. And we will be keeping all of you in our prayers. In the meantime, keep rolling high. And we'll see you in the next one.
and always expect the Spanish Inquisition.
The Spanish Inquisition!